Good morning, folks, and welcome to a beautiful Saturday morning in Ontario. You can feel a touch of fall in the air. We had a good frost last night, so that means the growing season for the garden is over for this year. And on today's agenda, we're going to start filling the woodshed. And normally we'd have it full by now, but we've got some other things keeping us busy in life, so we've got this beautiful day ahead of us to start working on the woodshed. Before we do that though, old Betsy the tractor here, she needs a new battery. As my father-in-law would said, I've milked her for all she's worth. It needed a new battery 2 years ago. Last year it barely got by, and this year it won't hold a charge at all. So last night on my way home I stopped in a Canadian Tire and bought a battery, and now we're going to change it. So let's get to work and put a new battery in Betsy here. This old tractor has some great sentimental value to me. It's a 1948 Massey Harris 22. And it used to belong to my father-in-law. And the way he came to get it was when 1975 I was dating his daughter, and he was going away couldn't be somewhere one weekend when there was an auction sale where this tractor was being sold. So he asked me if I would go for him, and he gave me a blank check, signed it. Now can you imagine somebody doing that to a 15-year-old boy? That's how much Poppy trusted me. Well, the auctioneer started to bid for the tractor. They couldn't get it started. Had a flat tire, and I think my opening bid was $200. And forgive me if you've heard this before. Started at $200, he couldn't get another bid, and I don't know, I think somebody said $205. He said I need 3 bids. And I believe I got it for $210. But while waiting, I'll tell you, I was so nervous I nearly pushed the bottoms out of my pockets. My father went to the auction sale with me, and after some work with a piece of scrap wire, we actually got the tractor started. And we found a place to get some air in one of the tires. It was leaking pretty bad. The rim was rotted out. And I proceeded to drive the tractor home, and it was probably, I don't know, 15 or 20 miles from home. And just as we were going down, we lived on a little old side road. The last mile of the journey, the tire let go. It threw calcium up in the air, and I just kept driving her because I knew the rim was garbage and the tire was garbage. And we got it home. And that's how we came to own this Massey Harris 22. And my father-in-law, who was actually a painter and a decorator, he used it part-time on the farm. He had a bit of a farm, and it did a lot of work for him over the years. Okay, let's lift this one out. And after he quit using it, it sat actually in a fence row for quite a while. And I brought it home and took it to our local high school, and a tractor club at our local high school restored it. There's the old battery out. Let's get the new battery. If one wasn't very careful, you could have a bit of a boo-boo installing this battery, because the old generators in these tractors had a positive ground system. Not like the current negative ground we use on everything today. I think the battery was $124 if I remember right. There we go. One new battery installed. It's so nice to work outside and hear the birds. When I come home from work, and I put in a lot of long hours, it's so nice to be here on the farm. Right now, to smell the fall air, and just not too far that way, there's a large hayfield that's been cut and baled. And you know how nice that smells? Oh, brings back all sorts of memories as a kid. But it just has a beautiful, clean, fresh smell. And there's already some geese flying south. Just a wonderful time of the year. There, the battery's mounted in place. It's held solid. Cables don't have any interference. There's no danger of a short. Let's put the cover on. Now, let's turn the gas on and see if she'll start. There we The gas is turned on. Give her a little throttle, a little choke. And we'll give her a couple of seconds to let the gas run from the tank into the carburetor. Let's try that out. Isn't that amazing? The Continental engine with an updraft carb. They start like a dream. I've been using this same stick to check the fuel level on Betsy for years. There we go. That much fuel in the tank. For little Betsy here, that much fuel will do a lot of work. You can hear somebody on our neighbor's farm over here sighting in their gun for deer hunting. You sure know it's fall when. Well folks, it's time for me to start throwing wood from the wood pile into the trailer here. And I'm almost hesitant. Do you know, there's such a good feeling when you look at a decent pile of wood. Because you know what it was like to cut the tree down, skid the logs out, cut it into blocks, split the blocks, stack it up, and then clean up all the bark and the sawdust. And it's also such a good feeling of security to know that you've got, there's my neighbor sighting in his gun. It's also a good feeling of security to have a woodshed full of wood and a decent wood pile. I can remember sometimes in the wintertime, my father would stand in the center bent in our barn between this mow and this mow, and it'd be full of square bales right to the ceiling. And he'd stand and he'd look, and I had no idea when I was a boy what he was doing. I think he was saying thank you and admiring the security of a barn full of hay. I know that feeling now. That's the same feeling I get when I look at this wood pile. I say, thank you, Father. And I know we're not going to be cold this winter. Well, time for me to start throwing this wood on the trailer. And then we'll back up to the trailer of the woodshed and we'll unload it. You know, in some ways it seems archaic when I could just buy some propane and do it, but I get a lot of joy out of cutting wood. Well, I think we better call her quits or I'm going to kill this poor old trailer. Mr. Fargo, this trailer was also Poppy's, and it's a Fargo, has done a great job for many years, and I tend to put far too much on it, but we're only going, oh, maybe 150 yards to the house. You know, one of the nice things about the wood pile being out here is that if I want a snack, I can come here, pull an apple off the tree. I love that crisp, tart flavor. And I don't know if this is a wild apple tree or one that was planted here many years ago. Well, folks, I had planned to put this in the woodshed today, but I've got some other plans now. A friend of ours from back at the camp said, hey, your crop of hay's looking pretty good. So I guess that means we should go cut the grass at the cottage. So I'm going to pack things up, take my bride, load the truck, and we're going to head on out. It's not going to rain tonight in the next few days, and I'll put this on in the woodshed Monday night after work. Well, folks, I sure hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again and Out of the House with Paul.